All right, everyone, welcome. I'm going to go ahead and start today's open discussion, various topics. Class number 121. Let's open up with reciting prayer for spiritual workers, and then we'll move into our Q&A session. So give me a quick audio check. Let me know if I sound good, if I'm too loud, too soft. Whether anyone can see me all right. Okay, thank you. Prayer for spiritual workers. Almighty God, I bless all those who, because of their limitations, would smite me. Almighty God, I bless all those who, because of their weakness, would not heed me. Almighty God, I bless all those who, because of their ignorance, would defile you through me. And I ask, Almighty God, O wondrous power, that your strength may be given to me now, so that I might be fortified by this, so that I might go forward bravely into the world, and despite reception, send forth my love of thee throughout all races of man. Almighty God, give me the power and strength to rise above my karmic weakness, the deficiencies in the pattern of my evolution, so that I might evolve and become stronger, I, and even stronger in thy everlasting light. O God, thy will be done. Okay. All right, once again, everyone, welcome to Open Discussion and Various Topics, Class 121. As per usual, feel free to ask any questions you may have, either posting them in the chat if you're joining us on YouTube, or if you're also joining us on Zoom, you can use the chat feature, or you can also raise your hand to ask your question audibly. Today, we will continue after a brief Q&A session with our survey of the Metaphysics 101 series. So if you go to our YouTube channel under playlist, the Mystic Knowledge YouTube channel, you go to playlist, and if you scroll down, you'll come to Metaphysics 101. There's about 2 lectures in that series. And we're reviewing some of our earlier lecture series in an attempt to help us better digest and understand the information, and to add additional accompanying information, maybe some handouts or books that were not available at the time when Nehemiah gave those lectures, or class notes that were not uploaded to a shared folder, because I think at that time we weren't utilizing a shared folder. Everything was just broadcast live from the classroom when we were doing hosting the meetings there. So we're going to review Metaphysics 101. We're also going to look at Metaphysical Lecture Series for Beginners, 21 Lessons of Metaphysics, and maybe the how-to or understanding the mystic knowledge of Tantra Yoga. So we'll bounce around between some of the key foundational courses. I'll work on producing a transcript for most of them. We won't go through every single video line for line. We'll take out some of the highlights and key points and we'll also interject additional material, either like, for example, as we're currently going through Metaphysics 101, we're also studying or reading through the second book is about to be published, The Mystic Constitution of Man, the Mystic Knowledge of Man's Embodied Consciousness. We've completed chapters 1 through 5. Chapter 1 being Introduction to the Metaphysical Sciences. Chapter 2, The Life of Man as Spirit, a Divine Spark of God. Chapter 3, The Soul of Man as the Manifested Expression of Spirit. Chapter 4, The Shakti Power, its Principles and Functions. And Chapter 5, The Soul's Involution and Modification of Shakti. Today we will cover Chapter 6, The Formation of Man's Auric Structure. And if we have time, we'll move into Chapter 7, Kundalini, the Vehicle of Consciousness for the Soul. If not, then we'll just hold Chapter 7 until our next open discussion session. That'll come in the second half. For starters, do we have any questions or comments? We did have one question emailed to us, but I want to open the floor for questions. Right, the question that was emailed, referring to a comment that Nehemiah made last session. And the question reads, Nehemiah mentioned that karma is the thing that keeps Ida and Pingala apart, which is very interesting. So is this why karma yoga is the fastest yogic path in these days?
We said Ida and Pingala?
Right, because he was referring to the Metaphysics 101 class, where we were talking about how Ida and Pingala is kept separate or kept apart due to karma.
Yeah, that's very basic, because what happens is the more basic we become, the more separate the flow of energy, the positive and negative flow of energy within our body is separated and kept separated. So, and the more advanced we become, the more we can utilize the flow of that energy together. Hence the Sushumna, the spinal column. The energy flows together through the Brahma Nadi within the Sushumna, which gives a wholeness to this Shakti power or Kundalini power, which allows us to calibrate the chakras. So that's the common and basic mechanics of the nadis, the chakras, and the energy that runs through the chakras, and which is light, sound, and which is light and sound energy that runs through subtle energies, a combination of all of them: mind, sound, and positive and negative energies. So read the question again? The last part of the question, what it was?
Sure, he had asked, so mentioned that karma is the thing that keeps Ida and Pingala apart, which is very interesting. So is this why karma yoga is the fastest yogic path in these days?
Yeah, I mean, all yoga, it's always been the fastest yoga. Because it's the most balanced yoga. All yoga is is an aspect of karma yoga. Because remember, in the ancient Sanskrit teachings, we were told that karma means action. So any action you take is karma. So the path to all the yogas take a series of action, and when those actions are made in a correct manner, then you are striving towards the highest aspect of karma, which is karma yoga. And yoga means to unite with God, but you need the proper actions to unite with God. So therefore, all actions is karma, and all right actions is the actions of yoga, which means that you are moving towards to unite with God. That's why Dr. George King and the great Lord of Karma, Ma Sector 6, stated that karma yoga is the greatest. Service is the greatest yoga, and service being karma, because all actions should be an action towards serving. Because when you make all the right actions, then your actions should include helping everyone to move towards the absolute, which is God. And that's been the teachings from day one and the teachings now. It's just that we had great mighty avatars come here and begin to teach us. In these days, outspokenly, that karma is the greatest yoga. But it's always been that way when you go back and look at the teachings. It's just that a lot of people in the past either misinterpreted it or did not understand it. Can you hear me? Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. And so really quickly, I want to take a look, since we're talking about the nadis. There is a handout titled A Brief Look at the Chakra System and Flow of Prana. We've reviewed this some time ago in open discussions. It is also available in the Google Drive shared folder. So if you look in the description on YouTube, you'll see a link to a Google Drive shared folder. It's in the 2020 folder. And so the Ida and Pingala nadis that the questioner is referring to and that Nima is talking about are these depicted here in this diagram. This one here. And the other one as well as these blue and red crisscrossing flows of energies. The Ida, represented as blue, is a mental flow of energies, and the Pingala nadis, represented in red, is a vital flow of energies. So you can also go back to the Metaphysics 101 lecture, where in the lecture part within the first 15 minutes or so, is when Nehemiah had actually depicted this again on the board, on the whiteboard, and went into great detail about the nadis, their function, their uses, and how they came about. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, this will be loaded to our YouTube channel, the Mystic Knowledge YouTube channel. Robert, I'm answering you and your wife's question. When do you upload this, Dwayne? Right after class or?
Yes, it goes up right after class.
Okay.
Well, they must have sent that question directly to you because I didn't see it.
Yeah, they say they may lose their connection. So.
Oh, okay. All right, if there are not yet any more questions, and let us transition into the Mystic Constitution of Man text. But if you do have any additional questions, you can feel free to post them as we're reading through the book, and we'll be happy to address those for you. So today we will pick up at chapter 6 and maybe get into chapter 7. Yeah. Remember, again, this is in conjunction with the Metaphysics 101 lecture series. So do take some time to go back, review those videos. And if you have any questions or comments about the content presented in those videos, feel free to come back during another open discussion session and pose those questions. And we'll do our best to answer those for you. As a reminder, in the first 30 minutes of class 1 of Metaphysics 101 series, there is a delay between the audio and video. But after around the 29-minute, 30-minute mark, the video corrects and the audio and video synchronizes. But I have made a full transcript of those first 30 minutes. I think I'll make that available in the shared drive folder, as well as continue to transcribe the rest of those 2 videos and other videos in the earlier lecture periods, and make those available as well in the shared folder. I'll announce when those are ready and upload it to the folder. Are there any questions or comments before I start with chapter 6? All right, chapter 6, the power of Kundalini, the vehicle of consciousness for the soul. I, the author, Mr. Nehemiah Davis, was a young teenager when I first heard His Eminence Sir George King make this above statement. I didn't truly understand the great significance behind this simple metaphysical statement that is full of great wisdom. Once again, His Eminence Sir George King has impacted a small statement with lifetimes of practical, ancient, mystical, and metaphysical knowledge, which is wrapped up within it. He had shown his mastery and superiority over this ancient metaphysical subject. Kundalini is the primary life force of the human body. It is the great cosmic energy given to the soul, the life streams of this earth, through the logos of this earth, to gain the necessary experience needed in this classroom called the planet Earth. The greatest portion of this power of Kundalini within the human body lies dormant and untapped at the base of the spinal column. In the following paragraphs, I will try to give a brief explanation of the power of Kundalini. I will also try, to the best of my ability, to refrain from using too much Sanskrit terminology to explain this great and holy power. I think this will help to avoid making the subject too complex for students. Kundalini is that Shakti power that has moved from the great perfect equilibrium state of Shiva and Shakti to initiate the process of involution. The process of involution can be described as the manifestation of the soul's tools of expression, such as the nadi system, the superconscious mind, the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, the pranic system, cosmic energy within and surrounding the bodies, the subtler bodies, and the physical body. When this Shakti finishes the formation of all the above tools of expression for the soul, it rests in and at the base of the spine by revealing the great Shiva power within itself, and then coiling itself around this Shiva 3.5 times. This Shakti state is called Kundalini at this stage. This power of Kundalini is the cosmic life force within the physical, subtle, and mental bodies of man. The power of this Kundalini radiates throughout man's subtle bodies and physical body. This power is the key to man's evolution. Kundalini is that power used by man to unlock the tremendous power of the soul and spirit by activating the major chakras that are located along the spinal column. Each chakra has what is called a bindu, which is a point of consciousness of the soul and a doorway to the all-knowledge space of the spirit. The presence of the bindu creates a tremendous vortex of power that the soul manages within and outside the chakras. The presence of the bindu attracts various components to it that make up the chakra. These components within the chakras, or nadi knots, can be described as, number 1, numerous vibrating strings of tattvic matter. Number 2, a number of seed mantras or bijas. Number 3, a mantra for each chakra. On the outside of the chakras, there are something called granthi knots that is used to manipulate this tremendous presence of the bindu and the flow of cosmic energy, mind substance, and hundreds of vibrational strings of tattvic matter. The granthi knots are the conversion points for the conditioned vibrational strings of tattvic matter that radiates through and from the sun and then is conditioned by the earth, moon, and other celestial planets within the solar system. Granthi knots are the last vibrational configuration that manipulates the vibrational strings of tattvic matter within man's etheric Nadic system before it solidifies into layers of subtle bodies, astral counterparts, and the gross physical body. Kundalini is dormant at the base of the spine, but a portion of it is located throughout the body, running through the Nadic system and penetrating itself throughout the etheric bodies, subtle bodies, and the physical body. All the actions within the body require the power of Kundalini for its movement, from the blinking of the eyes to breathing, thinking, speaking, walking, and running. This power of Kundalini is that Shakti power within the body, and it's the Shiva power within the body located at the base of the spine and at the crown chakra, Sahasrara chakra. When the dormant power of Kundalini is activated and moves up the spine through Sushumna, the central nadi system where Ida and Pingala nadi energy meets, it opens to the point of consciousness of the soul and the door to the spirit's all-knowledge space. The power of Kundalini unties the nadi knots and granthi knots and allows the great cosmic energy to flow unrestricted. This power of Kundalini inhibits the lower solidified manifested matter and activates the etheric substance to assist in the rising subtle vibrations throughout the subtle bodies and man's consciousness, thereby allowing the supra-conscious mind to manifest itself. Kundalini is the power that travels through the Sushumna and opens up the chakras. By calibrating them to the point where the vibrational strings of tattvic matter, the seed mantra of the chakras and main mantra of the chakras operate on the higher levels of consciousness. When man uses the power of Kundalini to raise his conscious mind, he operates on the higher levels of man's consciousness and gains tremendous control over his lower mind, subtle bodies, and physical body. The result of this is the so-called supernatural powers of all kinds the yogis called siddhis, or psychic powers such as clairvoyance, clairaudience, psychometry, telepathy, and telekinesis, etc. The proper awakening of this Kundalini power and control of it turns man into a superman. The channels that Kundalini works through. Before we get too deep into the meaning and functions of Kundalini, let us go over the vehicles or conduits it works through. In the book of Genesis, we are told that Adam's body is formed from the black dirt of the Mother Earth. Of course, this story of Adam is a symbolic story, and this statement is as well. But within the symbolic story, there is much truth. Mankind, as we know, was introduced to this earth's subtle and physical planes through the Logos of the Mother Earth. Taken with him an aspect of the Logos itself, and that aspect is being contained with the same elements that contain the mighty Logos of the Mother Earth herself. Close examination of the human body, you will surely see the same material that makes up the earth also makes up and sustains our human bodies. As the aphorism in Genesis states that God molded the body of Adam from elements of the earth itself. The statement made symbolic, as stated early. The statement may be symbolic, as stated early, but the statement is true on several levels. The Mother Earth gives mankind this great cosmic energy to allow him to operate in his subtle and gross manifestations here upon earth. This cosmic energy given to mankind is the essence from the Logos of earth. The flame of the Logos of earth represents itself as Kundalini in the human body. So Kundalini is an aspect of the Logos of earth. It's the source behind the building blocks and the force that destroys and transmutes the basic aspects of man's nature so that he can live and operate as conscious gods through his higher centers of awareness. This is one of the great secrets of man's existence and man's great link to the unlimited and endless potential of the power from the Absolute. If this power of Kundalini is given to us from the Mother Earth, then why is it inaccessible to mankind? This is the question that almost everyone will ask themselves upon learning this fact. The advanced metaphysician realizes this immediately upon being told this because he can see the link and he understands the karmic pattern within the link and sacrifice that the Mother Earth made in accepting mankind on her back to gain the necessary experience through thousands of reincarnations. The base of the spine chakra, the Muladhara chakra, is the resting place of this Kundalini power. It's also the chakra that represents the element of fire and the physical earth realm of consciousness. It is the chakra or vortex center that represents 3 different intersection points. 1, this chakra level is where the soul moves the power of Shakti into a 3.5 energy configuration and uses it to block the door of Sushumna, the state of Brahmic consciousness. 2, a point where the soul's awareness moves from a semi-omni state to a state of limited consciousness. 3, the Muladhara chakra is the equilibrium point for man's journey through involution to evolution. It is the first level of subconsciousness for man and the crown chakra for the animal kingdom. The cosmic aspect of Kundalini. All life in this solar system comes through and from the solar logos, the sun, for everything in the solar system is solidified light. This includes all the planets of this system as well. In fact, we are told that the sun gives birth to all planets of the solar system, and these planets live and give birth to billions, maybe trillions of life streams during that planet's incarnation from the sun. During this time, those life streams evolve and pass from the classroom of their respective planet or are expelled from the planet so that this celestial being, the planet, may make its journey back to the sun to be reincarnated from the solar god once again, but on a higher celestial plane each time. I hope the reader does not think that I am rambling on and steering away from the subject, because this type of knowledge is important toward understanding the essence of this subject. Let us come to the point and connect the dots of understanding and clarity to this subject that we are trying to convey here. The mighty sun resonates the creative word released from the Absolute at the beginning of creation. This creative sonic vibration is released from our sun every 32 minutes, carrying with it the great cosmic energy, prana. The quality of this sonic vibration encompasses all power of manifestation and the quality of vibratory state of existence. When this creative sonic vibration is released from the sun, it carries with it the 5 major pranas that are radiated throughout the solar system and beyond. As this prana radiates from the mighty sun, it hits the earth from all 360 degrees. These degrees are considered rays in the ancient teachings, and each ray is accompanied with a diva, a keeper of ray or light. The 360 rays released from the sun are broken up into 3 major divic ray groups that manage these rays, and within each group, there are 2 governing divas. The 3 major groups that represents the 360 rays seem to have derived from the following. 1, the sun's rays that are absorbed into the earth and delivered to man, as the Agni fire rays, or the Kanda Diva group, composing 118 Divic rays. Number 2, the sun's rays that falls directly on earth, penetrating the atmosphere down to man. This is the sun rays, or the Sura Diva group, composing 106 Divic rays. And number 3, the sun rays that are reflected from the moon to earth down to man. And these are the moon rays, or the Chandra Diva group, of which composed 136 Divic rays, totaling 360 Divic rays. We are told that governing divas are located in the 6 major chakras within the human body. The 6 major chakras in question are those that are along the spine, from the base of the spine chakra, the Muladhara chakra, to the Christ chakra, the Ajna chakra. Each one of these chakras has a host of other divic rays that help it to manage. Why is this important, and what are these divic rays from the sun? The divic rays from the sun are the cosmic energy that comes from and through the sun in order to assist in the maintaining of all aspects of manifestation. Each ray carries with it a particular creative power. This power is then transmitted to man through the various chakras of the human body. The cosmic energy is pulled within the chakras and distributed throughout the subtle bodies and physical organs of the physical body via the nadis, which can be called the etheric lines of force, or the subtle nervous system. As this cosmic energy enters the chakras, it is guarded and handled strictly under the divine laws of karma with great care by the various divas of the rays. The following table outlines the diva groups of the solar rays. The diva group of the Kahanda divas, of the Muladhara chakra and the Svadhisthana chakra, which are the base of the spine and sex centers respectively. At the Muladhara is 56 rays, and the Svadhisthana is 62 rays. The next group, the Surya divas, composing the Manipura chakra, the solar plexus, and the Anahata chakra, heart center. At the Manipura chakra, there are 52 rays. At the Anahata chakra, there's 54 rays. Next, we have the Chandra divas, composing the Vishuddha chakra, the throat center, and the Ajna chakra, the Christ center. At the Vishuddha chakra, there's 72 rays, and the Ajna chakra, 64 rays, for a total of 360 rays. The above mentioned cosmic rays that enter the human body through the major chakras are absorbed and distributed throughout the body through the complex matrix called the nadis in ancient terminology. The yogic or metaphysical teachings call these nadis the etheric subtle nervous system of all man's vehicles of expression. This subtle nervous system is the backbone of man's manifestation. This nadi system is a balancing and calibrating system for the cosmic energies and mind substance that's absorbed from the cosmos. The nadi system is described as thin beams of light that circle the manifested portion of the soul hundreds of times in many geometric angles, creating a complex matrix system that prescribes the major, minor, and minute chakras of the human structure in its formation of over 200,000 nadi channels in its completion. These thin beams of light are reported to be substance obtained from the spirit by the soul and is used to create this web called the nadis. Because the soul spun the nadi system from the holy web material of the spirit, divine spark of God, it is looked at and described as lines of force in some metaphysical circles. As these lines of force circle the manifested part of the soul, creating the geometric angles, we are told that as it crosses or overlaps a number of times, it creates a vortex center that we call chakras. The Tibetan adept that spoke through Alice A. Bailey in the early part of the 20th century stated that every time the lines of force overlaps or intersects 21 times, it defines a major chakra. When it intersects 14 times, it defines a minor chakra. And every time it intersects 7 times, it defines a minute chakra. The intersection of these lines of force creates a magnetic effect on cosmic energy and universal mind substance, which in turn creates a vortex center. The chakra is a vortex center of cosmic energy and mind substance that resembles a spiral motion of force within a limited area. It especially resembles a whirling mask-like substance of fluid, water, or air that sucks everything near it toward its center. These major chakras, minor chakras, and minute chakras regulate all the cosmic energies and kundalini of the physical and subtle bodies. It's through these chakras that the devas must work patiently on the behalf of the Absolute in holding the cosmic light. The devas are loyal servants of the lords of karma who upholds the divine laws of God. This sacred cosmic energy is controlled and manipulated by the 3 deva groups listed in Table 1. All 360 devas that belong to these deva groups regulates the cosmic energies that flow in, out, and through the nadis and chakras of man. These devas, having no other choice but to impose the restriction dictated by the thoughts and actions produced by man. Each chakra resonates an aspect of the holy sonic vibration that is released from the mighty sun in order to assist in holding manifestation in place. Each deva produces, regulates, and manipulates the cosmic energies through the use of the mantra sounds and aspects of mantra sound, which is sonic vibration, as some masters have described it, as songs that the devas sing. In fact, the mantra of each chakra is reported to be the name of the governing deva of that chakra. The name of the deva, which is a sonic vibration or mantra, possesses the power of that chakra. Once you gain the power of the mantra or sonic vibration, you gain control over the power of Kundalini. It takes many incarnations upon the face of this earth to actually gain control over this power called Kundalini. This power of Kundalini is the life of man's very existence. Man cannot blink an eye, move a finger, or think a physical thought without enacting the power of Kundalini. An aspect of Kundalini flows all throughout the nadis, especially the main branch, the Sushumna. Various aspects of this power flows up and down the Sushumna, carrying out numerous functions. We are told that this power of Kundalini is the power that can unlock the all potential. When man gains control over this power consciously and raises it up the Sushumna Nadi and lodges it in each Nadi knot, the chakra, for a time, and then makes contact with the bindu of that chakra, which is the point in every chakra that opens man up to the God's consciousness of all potential. It's also where the governing deva of that chakra resides, at this door of the all potential endless power and knowledge. It's where this all potential and most holy power is manipulated with the divine laws of karma. The bindu of the chakra releases unbelievable wisdom regarding the physical aspect and metaphysical aspects of man. As stated in the above paragraph, that each chakra governs and manipulates parts of the 360 energy rays that the earth receives on its physical and subtle surface from all 360 degrees. Each degree releases the great mystery of the energy ray given to man, great power that makes him appear almost superhuman. The higher man raises this Kundalini in its full aspect and lodges it in each one of the chakras, the greater wisdom and power is released to him. This is the true search for wisdom and power that man must take, and the only reason man is here on earth is to control this power of Kundalini. A lot more can be said on this subject and in greater detail, but this is a brief overview of this power and part of the mystery behind this power. Okay, that completes chapter 6. Do we have any questions or comments or anything like to add, Imai?
Not really. I mean, I could have went much deeper into it because it's a lot of things that we are totally unaware of. You know, I remember Dr. George King said one time that metaphysics start with the skeleton system. You remember he made that point?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So, and when you examine that, there's 22 bones inside the skull and 33 bones inside the spinal column. So it correlates with the, with the teachings. And it's just the more and more you explore those things, you become aware of how this whole system correlates with the receiving the energy from the sun, from the earth, uh, and the vibrational rotation that it takes in order to make the whole system works. But it's I started to put all that in there, but I said no, let me not. It just go to a whole nother level at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
James has a couple comments here. It says, I hate to say it, but the fact that not anyone can just get up and become enlightened in 5 seconds is somewhat of a blessing. It's also good that not every single man knows about magic.
Yeah, but and magic is only applied knowledge when you look at it.
Any other questions or comments before I move on to chapter 7? Chapter 75 to actually chapter 7 is 20 pages long. So most likely will not finish that today. So what I'll do is I'll read the first half of it and then leave the second half for next time. All right, there's no additional questions. Let's continue on.
Yeah, I noticed on the first one the statement that Dr. George King was out of there.
You mean it was out of there?
When you
It was
open up the chapter, it was at the top of the
on the top of the chapter heading.
yeah.
Oh, I mean up down here.
Yeah, it was right there. So make sure we put that in there.
Okay.
I think it was the only reason why man is here on earth is to control the power of Kundalini up and down the spine or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I sent it to you though.
Okay. It's not letting me edit it right now. Okay, chapter 7, the chakra system. A system of sound vibrations that holds consciousness in place. I believe this is taken from the Ancient Language of the Soul book, which is available for purchase and download. the Amazon. The mystic science of the chakra system. The chakra system is a natural consciousness splitting instrument designed for the soul to allow it to involve itself into gross manifestation. Behind each chakra is a bindu, or point of consciousness, of the soul's essence, or all knowledge space connected to the soul. The chakras are points or parts of the soul's essence manifested in consciousness, but each point gives access to a glimpse of the whole and helps to break the illusion of individuality. The soul gave subtle physical expression to these points of consciousness through the arrangements of the sonic vibratory lines of force called the nadis. These nadis are subtle sonic vibrational lines of cosmic energies that carry positive, negative, and neutral charges of these cosmic energies. They, the nadis, wrap themselves around these manifested and unmanifested portions of the points of consciousness, which brings into manifestation a magnetic vortex system of cosmic energies and concentrated mind substance called the chakras. The ancient tantric doctrines tell us that there are over 200,000 nadis that create a complex matrix system, identifies over 100 chakras within the human system. Within this chakra system, there are major, minor, and minute chakras, and each chakra type has a positive, negative, and neutral cosmic energy charge and access to the bindu, or all knowledge space. These chakras are the seat of man's true consciousness. As man evolves through his many incarnations, the active functioning and awakening of these chakras denote his evolutionary status and his ability to translate various frequency levels of the universal mind substance within the sea of mind that we all live, move, and have our being within. When man can consciously activate the chakras to an awakening level, he then possesses the ability to translate the frequencies of universal mind, where he can read and understand the divine laws of God that holds creation together. As the soul configures the nadis hundreds of times around its manifested consciousness, it creates different levels of consciousness by splitting up the soul's manifested consciousness into many parts. This splitting of consciousness is done through the joining together of positive charged nadis and negative charged nadis, which brings about a segment of subtle and gross manifested consciousness that we call chakras, or man calls levels of mind. The positive nadis are known as the Pingala nadis, and the negative nadis are the Ida nadis. The Pingala nadis are responsible for the vital life force within the etheric, subtle, and physical structures. The Ida nadis are responsible for the mental energies within the etheric, subtle, and physical structures. The amalgamation of these nadis over the bindu, or points of consciousness, which is known as drops from the infinite source, the absolute, creates a pull on the cosmic energies, universal mind substance, and the sonic creative vibratory force of the universe. The soul takes these three mighty forces and amalgamates them together and builds various bodies of substance for each chakra, creating the etheric bodies, subtle bodies, mental bodies, psychic bodies, emotional astral bodies, and the physical body. The soul through karmic pressures, calibrates each chakra to a particular frequency of universal mind substance and cosmic energies, pranas. This calibration of the chakras brings about various qualities, particularly mental, subtle, psychic, and spiritual powers. And it also brings with it karmic limitations that can be considered to be karmic pressure that lead man to conformity toward the divine laws of God that permeates throughout all creation. In the Eastern ancient teachings of Tantric Yoga, they describe the calibration power of the chakras to be several sonic vibrations that radiate from the sun through a vibrational force. These sonic vibrations are the 360 tattvic rays, seed mantras for each chakra, and the chakra mantra for each chakra. It is said that the presence of the manifested Bindu creates a huge magnetic pull on these mighty forces of creation that carries with it deep cosmic signatures of the divine laws that govern the universal mind substance, prana, the all-pervading vital life force, and the manifested subtle gross matter. The Tantric teachings describe the mighty sun as a powerhouse source of cosmic energies for subtle and gross matter within the solar system. The sun gives off a sonic vibration that produces from it, the sun or solar logos, the resonation of the holy word known as the AUM, a creative sound vibration known to be the spoken word that brought creation into being, or the great mantra spoken at the beginning of subtle, gross manifestation of creation. This sonic vibration is released from the sun, and when it hits the earth, it's equally divided into 360 parts to match the 360 degrees of the earth. Then these tattvic rays, or modes of motion, arrange themselves within several major chakras that are situated along the physical spinal column of man and or the path of Sushumna within the etheric and subtle bodies. The arrangement of the tattvic rays within the major chakras along the spinal column are distributed unequally to assist the soul in bringing forward a specific karmic signature of powers within the aura around each chakra. All life in this solar system comes through or from the solar logos, the mighty sun. For everything in the solar system is solidified light. This includes all the planets of the system as well. In fact, we are told the sun gives birth to all the planets of the solar system, and these planets live and give birth to billions, maybe trillions of life streams during the planet's incarnation from the sun. During this time, those life streams evolve and pass from the classroom of their prospective planet or are expelled from the planet so that the celestial being, the planet, may make its journey back to the sun to be reincarnated from the solar god once again, but on a higher celestial plane each time. Okay, the chakra system. The chakra system, as we know it, is a result of the Nadi system defining it with the Nadi knots, which gives the location of the Nadis. It's where the Nadis intersect 7, 14, and 21 times that allows us to locate these Nadi knots called chakras. It is stated that every time one of these Nadi lines of force intersects 7 times, a minute chakra can be found there, Every time 90 lines of force intersect 14 times, a minor chakra can be found in this location. And every time the 90 lines of force intersect 21 times, we will find a major chakra manifesting itself. Are chakras formed or defined by the nadis? Of course, it's defined because the chakras came first, the nadis came second. The chakras are points of consciousness, and the point of universal consciousness that the soul can work from, and realms of existence where the soul can manifest its many aspects of consciousness to gain valuable experience. The point of consciousness is connected to the all-knowledge space. It is the bindu. Therefore, it had to be there first. The Nadi system only defines the location of it and assists in redistributing its cosmic energies. These chakra points within the Nadi system are vortex centers for various levels of pranic and mind substance. They are entry points to the soul and spirit's all-knowledge space. Within each chakra is a series of seed mantras, and one chakra mantra that is associated with each chakra that is used to activate the supra-conscious points that links man with the spirit. These seed mantras and chakra mantras are sonic vibrations that man must use to calibrate the subtle cosmic energies that enter and exit the chakras. The most popular chakras are the 6 known major chakras along the spinal column and the major crown chakra above the spinal column. Table 13, 7 major chakras, bijas, petals, tattvas, and elements. First, we have the base of spine, which is the Muladhara chakra, containing 4 petals. The name of this tattva is Bhutas. Its sensitive matter quality is earth, and it contains 56 rays of tattvas, or tattvic rays. The second is the sex center, Svadhisthana chakra, has 6 petals. The name of this tattva is Agni. Its sensitive matter quality is fire, and it has 62 tattvic rays. The 3 is the solar plexus, or the Manipura chakra, containing 10 petals. This tattva is Apas. Its matter quality is water, and it contains 52 tattvic rays. The 4 is the heart center, or the Anahata chakra. Number of petals is 12. Its tattvas is Vayu. Its matter quality is air, and it contains 54 tattvic rays. And the throat center, or the Vishuddha chakra, containing 16 petals. Its tattva is Akasha. Matter quality is ether, and it contains 72 tattvic rays. And 6 is the Christ center, or the Ajna chakra. There's 2 petals. Its tattva is Manas. Its matter quality is mind, and it contains 64 tattvic rays. And then finally, it's the crown center in the Sahasrara chakra. The first 6 major chakras along the spinal column are chakras that represent the Shakti power within the Nadic system, and the crown chakra represents the Shiva power within the Nadic system. The major chakras that we will concern ourselves with are the above chakras mentioned along the spine. Listed below are several components of the chakras that we will examine in order to grasp the understanding behind the ancient teachings of yoga as it regards to each chakra. Throughout the ancient teachings of yoga, when it describes the chakra, the following components are always mentioned. Number 1, the bindu. Okay, Beatrice, I see your question, and now post your question after I finish reading this section. The bindu, a point of consciousness within every chakra. This bindu can be described as the point where the manifested and unmanifested point of the soul's points of consciousness reside, making the point of all knowledge space, or a point where the higher self or higher consciousness of man operates from. And from this operating point, all the other components of the chakra is brought to action to absorb the presence of this sacred power and cosmic moment of the spirit and soul, creating the point of manifestation. The bindu is the center of every component within the chakra and the signature power behind all the actions of every component from the chakra and every component that extends from the chakras. There's a question here. When a person has problems with their health, could this be a sign of blockages? Can the Kundalini help the person to clear this?
So we have to understand all these things. You're talking about Kundalini, and you're talking about a blockage. What is a blockage? I would think that you're talking about a blockage within the nadis, because the nadis, the word nadi means flow of energy, and the flow of energy that runs through the nadis is mind energy and vital energy. And we just talked about the intersection of these energies. So the intersection of the energies happens where? We talked about that. What did we say, Dwayne?
At the nadi knots.
At the nadi knots. And what's the nadi knots? The nadi knots are the chakras. So understand that the nadis, the flow of energy comes from Kundalini. Because you cannot blink an eye or think a thought without the power of Kundalini. But the Kundalini in the body, in the basic man, is a low voltage type energy. It becomes more vibrant when the Ida Nadi and the Vita Nadi cross-section itself within the chakras, creating this thing we call consciousness. Now, the consciousness act as your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and your superconscious mind. Now, the interaction of these different types of mind creates situations. The Buddhists like to call it a domino effect in their simple expression, where you bring about one action and it takes 100 actions in order to correct that one action. So that causes blockages. And those blockages express itself in many, many different ways. It expresses itself in sickness, in all types of sickness, whether it's a mental sickness, emotional sickness, or a physical sickness, or a limited expression from plane to plane, meaning that, and all of us have that in a sense, where when we move from one plane of existence, like from the astral plane or the etheric plane to the physical plane, we're limited on how long we can stay here on this physical plane. Then we leave this physical plane after death and go to the astral or etheric plane. We're limited on how long we can go. And that's all because of the combination of actions that we made and the blockages that we brought about within our auric structure. Now, can we clear up these blockages? Yes, you can. You can clear up these blockages, and Kundalini is always an ingredient to help clear up the blockages, because Kundalini is not only just this mysterious power, but Kundalini is what to the soul, and I keep saying this over and over, is the vehicle of what? Of consciousness. So as you rise your consciousness, you utilize more Kundalini, and eventually the Kundalini will not be a low voltage type energy in the body. It will become a very high voltage type energy within the body, that can stimulate the matter, or all the various forms of gross and subtle energy to operate in a whole different category, a whole different level of consciousness. So all what we do is, all our actions and all our practices within yoga or within metaphysics is a healing effect to clear up blockages within the nadi pathways. I hope that answered your question.
Any more questions? All right, let's continue on. Nada, an all-pervasive sonic wave. The inner sound that becomes audible when the network of nadi current has been duly purified. Nada is that sound vibration released from the Absolute in order to bring about creation. It is said that the Absolute spoke the word, and this word caused the activation of the two mighty forces that was in a complete state of static. These two forces have been described as akasa and prana, which was manifested but not activated. The sound vibration nada stroke this static force of akasa and prana, causing a rippling effect of perpetual movement that is called creation. This pure nada force resides in the bindu, or near this bindu, where the soul uses this nada force to recreate or perpetuate motion that was started from this word being issued at the beginning of creation. The bijas, or seed mantra, are sonic vibrations that assist in calibrating the mind frequencies and subtle energies. They make up the building blocks of consciousness. It is through the bijas that the nadis actually pass through the chakras. In other words, the nadis pass through the chakras via the bija chakras. The tattvic rays of the chakra. These tattvic rays are from the tattvic matter that extends from the sun, that is the reflective tattvic rays from the earth and the reflective tattvic rays from the moon. These tattvic rays permeate throughout the whole solar system within all subtle and gross matter. They are the resonance of sonic vibrations released from the mighty sun. It's described as sonic modes of motion that act as a carrying agent for the pranic forces being radiated from the sun. While acting as the carrying agent, these tattvic rays group themselves in 6 groups, and each group represents the sensitive matter that assists in building the subtle and gross vehicles of expression for mankind. These 6 groups align themselves along the major chakras located on the spinal column. The tattvic rays help to synchronize, compress, and condition the cosmic energies into a dense, grosser material to allow the soul to build its vehicles of expression, such as the etheric, mental, subtle, astral bodies, and physical body. Positive cosmic energy. This aspect of prana is recognized as the Pingala flow of energies from the chakras through the nadis. This flow of cosmic energy is the vital life force of prana that serves to polarize all the systems within the human body. This polarization causes a definite vibrational pattern that promotes specific qualities that are associated with this flow of energies. Negative cosmic energy. This aspect of prana is recognized as the Ida flow of energies through the nadis. The Ida flow of cosmic energies has the mental quality of energy flow that also polarizes all the subtle bodies and the gross human structures. Diva and host divas of the chakras. The Divic kingdom is hard for most people to visualize, but if they realize that the divas that are referred to in most cases are actually the active forces of the elements and cosmic energies. In other words, the diva is an aspect of the vibrational forces of all energies. Within the vibrational nada wave of Shakti, there's a conscious race of beings whose sole purpose is to manipulate these forces from one specific pattern to the next. In fact, some ancient texts state that the forces are the divas themselves. Just as the human body thrives on the need to breathe and drink water, the divas thrive on the need to take in the pranic energies created from the thoughts and actions of all life forms and manipulating these energies to create the environment or reactionable results deserved from the thoughts and actions. Magnetic force for mind substance. The magnetic force within the chakras is the result of Bindu, which is concentrated compactness of nada and Shakti power. A chakra is made up of a series of subtle sound vibrations extending from the Bindu that manifest the bija, which manifest the letters on the petals. These subtle sound vibrations have a natural magnetic power over mind substance or mind Shakti and cosmic energies. Each chakra manifested flow of cosmic energies is governed by the signature of tattvic forces that places tremendous pressures on these vortex centers, chakras, of cosmic energies and mind substance being manipulated and managed by the soul. These tattvic forces are the primary karmic pressures invoked by the creative word released from the start of creation. The tattvic forces placed on the chakras are different creative sonic vibrations that produce a variety of magnetic attractions and qualities that the chakras use to calibrate the universal cosmic energies and mind substance. These sonic vibrations are called bijas, seed mantras, surrounding the bindu of each chakra, which is the point of consciousness of the chakra and is the point where the soul expresses its consciousness by using the Shakti power, the Kundalini, that's activating these creative sonic vibrations in order to allow the lower conscious mind to amalgamate with the higher consciousness, or where the soul is bathed in the supreme light of the spirit. There are other cosmic pressures that have a manipulating effect of the chakras, and that is the thought impressions left on the auric field and the chakra entry and exit points. As man moves through evolution, his thought and actions leave thought impressions or karmic signatures, samskaras, on the auric body that mold and restrict the functions of these chakra centers until man transmutes these actions into something good and productive. The chakra system is the point where the bodiless consciousness of the soul is split up to form the mind of man, and is also the point where the different levels of consciousness, which is the different realms of existence, are formed to allow man to express itself individually through the Maya Shakti, the power that makes whole into not whole. Man's true points of consciousness are chakras consciousness that lie within the chakra systems. Lie within the chakra centers, not in the physical brain. The physical brain is the receiving set for the conscious mind. You think I should stop here and then continue next time?
Yeah, you're going into the chakras now, right?
Yes. Okay.
Might as well, so you have a full scope of it in the next class.
Right. Okay, so we'll stop here at the base of the spine. Why will you not allow me? Oh, there we go. That's what I wanted. Stop here and we'll continue next time. And we also want to insert at the beginning of chapter 6.
I sent you the statement.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did send it to me. Okay. Okay, I'll do that. Let me make a note for myself. Okay. That's a note from me. All right, so do we have any final questions or comments? As a reminder, we are reviewing the series Metaphysics 101. So do take the opportunity to go back and review that series, as well as Metaphysical Lectures for Beginners, 21 lessons, and how to. 21 lessons, there's 44 videos here, so we will not go through every single video, but I'll pick some highlight ones, including some highlight ones from the Metaphysical Lectures for Beginners. I wonder if there's any other video series that you would like us to go back and review or have any questions on. I know a lot of people really enjoyed the Serpent Power series. As well as the knowledge and use of mystic practices. So if there's any videos or series that you'd like us to go over, go into more detail, or you have some questions about the material that was covered, you're more than welcome to ask those questions. The book that I'm currently reading from, The Mystic Constitution of Man, as it is not yet complete or not yet published, it's not available. And also this manuscript is not on the shared folder, but once it is ready to be published, we will let everyone know so they can pick up a copy. But you can pick up a copy of the first book, published book by Mr. Nehemiah Davis, The Ancient Language of the Soul. That is available. You can go to our website, mysticknowledge.org, and there's a page dedicated to that book. There's links there to Amazon where you can purchase a copy of the book, or you can also purchase and request an autographed copy from the author himself. Okay. Any final questions or comments? Anything you want to add, Nehemiah, before we close?
Oh, no. That's right.
All right. And if there are no final questions or comments, let us close out today's session reciting the New Lord's Prayer. And also, everyone, if you would like to join in on our weekly 12 Blessings services, you can send us an email at Mystic Knowledge Center, all one word, at gmail.com. Or if you are on MeetUp, you can look for the South Florida Ethereal Society group. You can join that MeetUp group, and we'll also announce our prayer services where we perform the 12 blessings. And if you would also like to request healing or spiritual healing, absentee healing, you can send us an email with particulars of the individual and the condition you would like us to send healing on, and we will add you to our prayer list as well. Right? So no further questions or comments. Let us close out with the New Lord's Prayer. The New Lord's Prayer. O divine and wondrous Spirit, O everlasting Lord of hosts, send forth now through me thy great and lasting power. Allow me, Almighty God, the lasting privilege of radiating to all the world thy great love, so that those who suffer may be given the power and energy to rise above their weaknesses. Almighty God, in great humility do I ask you to send forth your power to give to me this great lasting privilege of being a channel, so that my suffering brothers may be helped and guided and healed and lifted into thy light, so that they who know not may look up, and in doing so receive to their higher selves your divine counsel. Almighty God, this day have you granted me a divine privilege. I ask you now to give to me the strength, so that never again will I turn from my inner vision of you. Oh, great peace, great peace, great peace. In praise of your greatness, O God, doth my soul sing. Grant it energy to sing on forever and forever. All right, thank you very much, everyone, for your attendance and participation. Just remind you to take a look at the videos on our YouTube channel, as well as the materials made available on mysticknowledge.org. There are about 4 pages in the ebook library filled with texts that are free for you and available for you to download, to read and study. Thank you again for your attendance, and we will see you next time. Have a wonderful week.